A new season of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series is upon us, and with support from our good friends V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8's Online Superstore, V8's Online are proud to be bringing you full coverage live and in glorious high definition. Welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I'm Leo Gray, and joining me in the booth tonight, Desmond Hallam. Thanks for coming along, Des. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, Leo. Thanks for having me. And big shout out to Stephen Sandman Clark out there. That's real disappointing he can't make it tonight for you. But I've got some big shoes to fill, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's a new year, new season. Let's see what the boys have got for us tonight.
Yeah, very excited, Des. And first of all, thanks for all the hard work you put in covering the truck series. I know that was a great addition that you had to the team, but thanks for being able to step in and help us in for the V8s and commentary. It's great fun.
Look, it's my pleasure. The Truck Series is a great series, and here at V8's Online, we're always looking forward to continue that on. We've got some great news coming on with the NASCAR side of things that we'll get into later. But tonight, it's all about these V8 boys and watching these great the FG Fords get around this beautiful track here.
That's it. First round of the season's always an exciting one because you've got everyone finding their feet, getting into their rhythms. Madison Down, of course, was crowned champion for the 8th time. Last time out at Canadian Montreal is where we were for the final round, still in Canada. So we haven't gone far, but everything is a clean slate for the first round of the season. 40 laps here at Mosport, so it's going to be one cracker of a race.
Yeah, and we've had silly season go on with a couple of guys swapping teams and some new teams popping up, whatnot. I think we've actually got one of those boys with us tonight for our hot lap.
Yeah, that's it. Always a good thing to keep a track of is all the driver movements, everything happening out there. But someone who will be taking us around Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is Bo Cattell, who's a new signing to the ANZ's team, who have also got a new sponsor on board. So we might welcome Bo to the broadcast. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, guys. How are you?
Doing very well, mate. Always good on a Monday night when it's race time.
Yeah, it's good fun. Looking forward to it.
So, getting on board with ANZ, how's all that working out for you? Very exciting, joining a new team, and hope you're looking forward to the new season.
Yeah, no, it's all happening. Just trying to get used to, the changing environment and keep my head down and try and get further up the grid.
Got some great teammates around you, and how is it bouncing information off those guys like Justin Ruggier, and just seeing what sort of information you can gather from them, what sort of advice you can get? Is that helping? Yeah,
definitely. They're all very experienced guys, and they really have a lot to offer in the way of advice, so it's been really, really good, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Now, how about the race tonight, Bo? How you find Mosport, and what do you think your chances are for a result?
I've been I had decent race pace and pretty good strategy, so I'm just hoping with a bit of luck I can be up there.
That sounds like a plan to us, mate. Well, we might let you get on with this lap. Take us for a tour around Mosport, and all the best.
No worries. So this last section, third gear around here, and I hold third for the last corner. Very hard to hit the apex. Try and get the power down as gentle as you can. Hold fourth here, again, try and make the apex. Now back down to fourth here, that's extremely wide. Alright. Back down to third, wide it in there, try to hit the apex and ease the power on. And you just hit fifth here, don't hit the grass, bit of a blind corner. Quickly back down to second through here, don't want to run wide, very easily done. Try to just miss that curb. Very hard to get the power down through there, and then you're on it all the way up here. And as you get to the top, the braking zone here, there's a little bump, and as soon as you feel a bump, you start changing down, back down to fourth, and try to get this curve. So here's the bump now. Just try and hold it in here as tight as you can. Don't be too excited on the throttle, down to third. Nice and wide here, try to get that apex, which I didn't. And a pretty messy lap there, but I didn't haul it, so I'm happy.
Well done, mate. It's a beautiful piece of road. 10 turns, opened in 1961, and there's been a couple of Formula One races here, a lot of sports car racing, now NASCAR running there. What's it like to drive a V8 supercar around this place?
Yeah, I've actually never done it before this week, and it'd probably be, if not my favourite, one of my favourites, because you can just really get the flow of the car really good and get into a rhythm, and very exciting and a little bit hard to pass, so it makes for good racing.
That's one thing that we're looking forward to tonight. What do you reckon, Des?
Yeah, I was just finding he said it was it's a flowing track. I'm really interested on what Bo reckons about the new tyre model that we've actually gotten here at iRacing on this V8. Is it more to your liking, getting the car through the turns and everything?
Yeah, it feels yeah, I reckon it just feels a bit more real. Like you can really feel what the car's doing, and you can control the slides really well. And it seems that they're wearing pretty well too, the tyres. So I'm all for it. I reckon it's brilliant. So, but I'm sort of a hard person to ask because I've come to a new team with new setups. So I'm not sure how much of it is the setup or how much is the new tyres.
But with that though, it's got to be feeling good if you're feeling more changes in that direction, whether it's the tyres or the team. It's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this season, and look, I've improved so far, so it can only get better, hopefully.
Righto, mate. Well, we might let you get on with your preparations, but we're looking forward to the race. Hope you are as well, and hope you can bring it home with a good result.
Yeah, hopefully, guys. We'll give you something entertaining to watch anyway.
All the best there.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you after the race, Bo. Take care. It's a beautiful, beautiful stretch of racetrack, isn't it? There's just that real traditional, old-school flowing sort of track. Some of those corners almost remind you a bit like Phillip Island in a way, and it's something that's a bit of a rarity on the calendar these days, but I think it's going to be a fantastic venue to race at.
Yeah, this track really does offer a lot of mix of the long, flowing corners, a bit tight and technical in places, but yeah, you touched on it earlier. NASCAR actually went there with the trucks for one of their road races last year, and it produced some really great racing. And we've seen in the past here, the V8s really do turn it on here. We've got 40 laps, so we've got a pit stop, Sandman's favourite thing, and he's not here for it. I know there's a bit of strategy in play that the boys are playing with, so it should be a great race tonight. Yeah,
good race distance. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for the drivers to make their way forward through the field. But of course, qualifying is going to be pretty important. But to run through the top 10 as they sit right now before we head into final qualifying, you'll see that it's a Tats.com 1-2 at the front at the moment. Madison down, tiny gap back to his teammate Josh Muggleton. So the reigning champ's taken off, well, it's got the season started to a good start so far. Justin Ruggier down in third. George Maris very strong in fourth. Lee Ellis fifth. Renz Brookman, who's another new signing to ANZ. We're going to touch on everything that's happened during the off-season in a quick second. Lee Day, 7th position, another ANZ car in the top 10. Chad Chastain, position 8 for Can-Am. John Emerson, position 9 in TTL. And James McKnight, 10th place for Net Virtue. So some very, very tight times up the top there, mate. And I think this final 20 minutes is going to be exciting as always.
They always do turn it on. Half a second within the top 10. That's really close. It's got to be one of our closest, really. Interesting to see George Maris, the privateer, up there mixing it with them. And we're not really sure if Chad will make it or Renz. We're unsure at this moment, but hopefully if they get in there, it should be an interesting top 10 off the line. This car is really hard to get off the line, and I know a couple of guys in that top 10 are struggling to get it off.
Yeah, and turn 1 at this place is an exciting place to be. So, of course, Mosport is round 1 of our 12-round series for Season 1 2014. But next week we're going to head to Brands Hatch in England. Beautiful circuit that we didn't get to cover last week, but that's going to be an exciting venue. Great to see these traditional circuits making up a big part of our schedule. Of course, that will continue on with Watkins Glen and the Cup configuration. The place always turns on some fantastic racing. We'll then head to Road Atlanta, Montreal, Bathurst for round 6. I'm sure all the drivers are looking forward to that one. And the back half of the season, Mid-Ohio, the Sonoma Cup layout, Phillip Island, Road America, Okayama, and then we're going to close out the season with 65 laps at Oran Park.
Yeah, that's a pretty big full schedule for the boys. It's good to see that, Brands Hatch is making a return. Same with Sonoma. It's a great track. It really challenges the drivers with the undulations, all the bumps. You've got to be really perfect with your throttle control around there. A couple of the oldies and the goldies, obviously our 3 Australian tracks, which we love going to. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Mid-Ohio. I love that track. I reckon it suits this car perfectly. I think it suits every car perfectly, to be honest. It's one of my favourite here on the service, so really looking forward to that mid-time in the season, Bathurst, Mid-Ohio and Sonoma.
Funny that you say that, Des, because that was also the one that I was going to mention. I've had a lot of great races there myself. It's an awesome place to watch motor racing at, and I like the challenges that this schedule represents for the drivers. A lot of variety in there, and we're going to be in for an exciting season. So we're going to get into final qualifying in a quick moment, 20 minutes as always, but what are a couple of the other things that have happened during the off-season? Of course, Renz Brookman being the other mover and shaker over to ANZ Motorsport, so Renz and Bo Cattell being the new signings. I'm sure those guys are going to be very excited about that. Yeah,
Clayton's got two of the best guys in probably our top 10 of the V8 schedule with Bo and Renz. I believe with Bo moving to ANZ, that's opened up Dave Oliver to move back to multi-21 racing this season.
Always interesting to follow the changes and the movings and happenings that goes on behind the scenes there. A lot of new sponsors that we might see out and about. I know ANZ has got a new signing in Tag Pest Management, and we'll certainly be looking forward to seeing what else is out there as we get into our first race. But before we do that, just to keep you posted as to what's happening here at V8s Online, because we've got some exciting new things to mention. Of course, the V8 Supercar America series is carrying a lot of momentum. That's running strong as ever. That's a great series to have here with us. New series that we'll be covering on Thursday nights now. Starting from this Thursday, we'll be covering the new GT3 Challenge series. So that's already seen some exciting racing at Road Atlanta, and we can't wait to bring the action from Mount Panorama this week. And then as well, the big news that the Americas boys are going to be covering the NASCAR iRacing series. The Road to the Pro series, so it's covering all of the top drivers over on the America side of things. So anyone who's into their NASCAR, make sure you follow that.
Yeah, that's a big one. We're really happy here at V8 Online to get this, and this is another reason why the Trucks forecast has sort of taken a sidestep. We're going to be following the whole schedule, starting from our time. It'll be the 20th of February. About lunchtime for us will be their main split over there, which will be a Wednesday night, and it'll follow the full series of the NASCAR schedule using the Gen 6 cars, the Ford. Sorry, I'm getting told it's a slightly smaller schedule to help fit in with the pro drivers, but they try and match it up to the real life. Long races, great racing. We'll get to see some really good, not very much heard of drivers trying to make their pro license. Hopefully our own Anthony Kernich can get up there and mix it with the best of them. I'm really looking forward to it. But not also to mention that the truck series on Wednesday night, there's again a couple of boys in our club that's managed to make up the a nationwide race. We're using the B-class car. That'll run off at the same time at 8 p.m. Sydney time, daylight savings time, and yeah, that should also produce some really great racing if you're in the Australian club and want to keep the oval racing going.
Great to see some support getting behind these NASCAR type series. It's a bit of a different thing to the V8 Supercar, but it's still a great piece of racing to be a part of. And that Daytona 500, when that kicks off, is going to be awesome. But for us right now, we're going to get focused on some qualifying action because we've got 20 minutes worth of qualifying from Mosport just loading into the session now. So we'll have pictures for you very shortly. But a short lap, a busy track with not a lot of room to move should make for an exciting 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's still a lot of time for these drivers to move. There's a lot of teammates that can help out with draft. The draft is going to play a big effect, I think, with the qualifying. It's a long back straight. It's one of the biggest, except for like Bathurst and that. But yeah, hopefully we will see some movers in this one.
And the other thing I'm going to be keen to watch is that fight for pole, because between those two Tats.com Falcons, 5/1000ths of a second. 5/1000ths. That's nothing. If you were to measure that watching their laps back to back, you wouldn't be able to pick it, would you?
I tell you what, if you're Madison down, you'd be a little bit worried. We all know that Muggleton, he had a bit of a broken season last one. He got married and had some time off, and he's just jumped straight back in the car and is just as quick as ever. So pretty sure Down's going to be looking in his mirrors, going, "Where's my teammate?"
That's it. And speaking of Josh Muggleton, we've got him starting a lap right now. He was a form driver to begin the previous season, of course taking 4 wins on the trot, which was an impressive display of force. Unfortunately wasn't able to run the full season, but we think that he's going to be incredibly strong throughout this 12-week championship. So we expect the times to drop as we go through this session. The last opportunity to make some positions on the grid. Muggo coming down this long back straight. See the way that it dips, rises. Not exactly the straightest straight in the world, but it's going to be a great piece of road for racing at as they come down to this right-left complex at the end of the straight. Trying to pick up a bit of a toe where he can through these flowing final corners. We saw some great action here in that NASCAR truck race with Des towards the end of that one. And I don't think the V8s will be any different.
Yeah, Ty Dillon really upsetting a lot of people there. It also gave one of the youngest ever truck wins win to... Trying to remember now, I'll get back to you on that one.
I think it was Chase Elliott.
That was the name, sorry mate.
All good, all good.
So we got...
But the first lap for Josh Muggleton was pretty quick, a 1:18.1, so not far off his current best, which is a 17.9. And especially when you think about how the tyres are behaving, it's an interesting thing to follow with these developments to the tyre model that they're making, is cold tyres. It's going to take a bit of work to get them up to temperature.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a new trend where you won't see the drivers really go out as soft as they have done in the past and really conserve the layer of grip that you did get from the old tyre models. They're going to have to really warm them up. Possibly you might see a couple of guys going for 2 or 3 laps just to get that optimal time.
And of course, being a short lap here, it's you've got a couple of opportunities to make it happen, but we've got Justin Ruggier on screen having a big slide out of the double apex hairpin. He's got a teammate in front of him he's got your end to try and get a bit of a toe from. See what this does for his lap. Justin is currently 3rd on the timesheets. Got your end just pulls aside. Hopefully Justin will be hoping that you got enough of a toe from that for it to make a difference. Second sector's looking good, just this final sequence of corners to go through now. The way it flows, you've got to make sure that you get every apex right. A little bit of a slide onto the ripple strip, he crosses the line with an 18.1. So again, not much.
A new personal best.
No, I've got him on 18.0. Sorry, 18.0. So just a 10th difference between it. That's it. This is what I was thinking of before. It looks like Justin's actually carrying on with the lap, whereas the previous trends we would see is the drivers would complete one lap, pull off to the side, head back into the pits, get some fresh tyres on, but he's still carrying on with it.
Just interesting to note, out in front of Justin, we've got the 2 overclocker cars of Richard Elwood and Chris Stone making a move to the Overclockers Australia team for this new year.
These guys are sporting a very distinctive new livery for Overclockers AU. White, orange and blue stands out. But speaking of liveries, a popular one from last season was John Emerson's Good Gang TTL Ford. Great to see this one back. John had a very strong season last time out, of course. He's had a good second sector to this lap, so he's going to cross the line, punch out a 1:18.49, which is, again, a 10th off his best. But continuing on with it. This is something I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys progress. Whether people are going to set times on their second or third laps maybe, but just ahead of Josh Emerson is the driver we can now call Mr. 8 time. It's Madison Down, claiming his 8th title in the season just past, and is our current pole sitter for the event.
Madison actually hasn't returned to the pits yet. He's done an 18.4 for his first lap and continued on.
Yep, this is what I'm keen to see, is just how the performance carries on throughout the course of the run, because you can see that the drivers are treating this qualifying session a bit different than they have in the past. Rather than just one lap and in, one after another, he's continuing on.
With 28.9 for the second sector. Just tucking the car into the apex there on the last turn.
Got 17.9 to beat. Doesn't quite do it. That was 18.6. So you see the time has dropped off a bit there, but he's still continuing on with the lap, so perhaps Madison is going to focus on a bit of race run practice.
It definitely could be something there, Leo. These guys obviously get all week to set down a really fast time, and maybe Madison just thinks, well, I'll be off the front row hopefully anyway, let's get this race pace down, because I know I watched the earlier race and it was furious pace there from Josh Muggleton, who actually took out the win. He was very consistent and very fast.
The lap times out there are looking pretty consistent with the driver's best. We've got George Maris on screen at the moment, about to start a lap, but his best lap in this session is only 1/10 off his best. Maris is currently in P4 with a 1:18.0. See what he can pull out of the timesheets. Great to see just how the drivers are attacking these curbs at this track. Some of them are riding it quite hard. We saw Madison Down using all of the road and then some. I love this onboard shot, just shows us how the drivers are working, positioning the cars.
Got a 30.2 for the first sector. Big.
Corners at this place, there's nothing that's really simple about them at all. There's a lot of waiting on the throttle, trying to get your power down as smooth as possible. Carrying a lot of speed into this corner, just grabbing a bit of the curb at the apex, and then immediately throw it back to the left, and back to the right again. Good second sector from Maris. Bit of a slide on the exit, but he's going to cross the line, a 1:18.3. So again, not quite there for his best, but some of the sectors are looking good, so there's got to be time out there somewhere.
We've got one of the very much up-and-coming rising stars on screen now, Jared Filsell.
Filsell, of course, pulling off on the side of the road now, but he had a great run at the Race of Champions event last week at Mount Panorama. That was running the Roof Cup car. If you like that racing, tune in on Thursday night for the GT3 Challenge, because same car, same track. It's going to be an awesome series to follow.
Yeah, it'll be a great car. The rough. It's also going to be paired alongside with the ever-popular McLaren MP4, so could be a great series. We're watching Adrian Stratford making a showing tonight.
Now, we're speaking about new liveries and all that. What's he got in his bonnet?
That would be a good question.
He's got a kitty on the bonnet.
Ah, yes. They're always faster when you're chasing something.
That's it. I love this part of the season. I love it any time the drivers can get out there and put something a bit different. You know, have a bit of fun with it. But
I believe he's supplied that from his team boss. Actually, he had that on there last season, I do believe. But he just pulled out of his lap. must have lost a little bit in the last sector there, because that was looking very good for their Adrian Trafford.
A lot of drivers on out laps at the moment, but you can see some great liveries out and about the place. Ian Ford running this Darrell Lee car. Chris Stone out there in the overclockers car with a teammate ahead.
Yeah, he'd actually just let Richard through then, so I'm not sure if Richard's on a flyer. Richard with an 18.9.
And Howard pulls off, but
that was his personal best too. So
yeah, Chris Stone had a big. I was going to say a big slide through the first one, a big slide through the second one as well. So this car's moving about a bit, but he's carrying on with the lap.
Richard Elwood actually moves his personal best up 2/10, so that's a great lap there by Richard.
Yeah, Chris Stone 19th with an 18.6 pulls off the track. Didn't have it there on that lap. So he'll get straight back out there. Every time we look at Madison down, it looks like he's pushing this car to within an inch of its life. He's hitting those curbs hard, using as much of the runoff as he can. You see it right there, just grabbing that concrete on the inside. Really throwing the car about.
Yeah, just look at the attitude as he hits that curve going into the double right-hander there.
Very, very aggressive with how he's attacking this circuit. That double right-hander, that's an awesome feature of this track. That heavy uphill braking zone, and then a double apex corner. You really got to flow it as one corner, and that sets up your whole run down this back straight. Second sector's looking good. Might be on for a strong lap here from Madison Down, 8-time champion. Got a 17.95 to beat. Looks tidy through the final corner. Just the right amount of curb, and he crosses the line with an 18.4, half a second off. Now, fastest first sector of the session goes to Josh Muggleton, who has a big sideways moment out of the hairpin.
Yeah, lights that one up, and that'll be game over for him. Yeah, we've got the tag boys here from ANZ. They've got a bit of a train going here to help their main man, Justin Ruggier.
Great to see teammates working together, and there's a couple of them out there. Great new liveries that they've got on the car, very distinctive. And if these guys can help each other gain even just a tenth or two, that's all that's in it sometimes to get a position up the grid. Look at guys like Ruggier got less than a tenth to make up to pole. Got Uran, if he was to make a tenth, he'd jump up 3 or 4 positions.
That's it, he's got a great drive here. I know Justin actually got his previous best time in the last qualifying session before the previous race, and he was wrapped, but still trying to find that time to these Tats boys.
Big toad from Jared Philsell playing the teammate game. They've obviously planned this, and that's going to make a big difference to Justin's speed down the back straight. Got the quickest second sector of the session so far. Through the final corner,
Little
looks
wiggle.
tidy. 17.957. That's going to put him second on the grid.
Yes. By 6/1000. That was a great lap. So that's displaced Josh Muggleton there off the front row.
This fight for pole is, it's amazing, isn't it? Current man on screen is Dean O'Brien. Another team out there that's carrying a new look, new livery. Got a couple of Darrell Lee cars. So great to see the different looks and appearances that come about at this time. These guys are having a bit of a slow out lap. Teammates together, obviously trying to set something up for a run to a good lap. We've seen that the draft can make a big difference. Great result there for Justin to move his time up.
We got Muggleton.
Muggleton's going to cross the line. We heard he had a very strong first sector, but the time lost because of that draft was about 2 tenths. Muggleton across the line with an 18.15, so 2 tenths. That's pole. That draft is critical. He's carrying on with the lap though, is Josh Muggleton. His car looks very tidy over those curves. He's positioning it very nice and neatly. He's actually got a bit of damage on the side of the car. It's not what you want to see in a qualifying session, but back into the pits he goes. He'll get that sorted out. Going to be 2 minutes left in the session, however.
And we just head back to these Darrell Lee cars and the Multi 21 guys. Ian Ford's now going to benefit from the draft from Dean O'Brien.
He's a bit further back compared to where Justin Ruggier was behind Phil Cell. There was barely a car length between those two. So it will be interesting to follow and see where this goes, because of course could still be on for a personal best.
Ian Ford's sitting in 15th at the moment on an 18.592.
He beats it with a 5.34. Might not seem like much, but sometimes that can be enough. If you look at the times up the top, we're talking thousands.
Unfortunately, it's not. Adrian Stratford's actually got him still. Adrian Stratford in 14th with an 18.469. So still very tight though.
So less than a minute left in the session until the checkered flag flies. With a lap time around this place, that means if you're out there now, make sure you get across that line. If you're in the pits, you're probably in trouble, but Ruggier crosses the line to start a lap. And once again, there's a team of tag cars out there. Looks like he's going to try and repeat the favour to Phil Cell, but they've had it coming together. Teammates, Phil Cell in the wall, teammates together in qualifying. That's not the way you want to start the season for your new sponsor.
No, it's not, but Scott Uren, who was leading it, has actually continued on. And now he slows.
Well, Uren's ended that lap. Muggleton continuing on, however. He's going to be very hungry for pole. He knows he's been knocked off the front row of the grid. And he knows that there's nothing in it to get that position back. But he's going to have a perfect lap to be able to make it happen. Look at all that curb.
It takes a lot of curb.
That's what I've been watching, that over the hill shot. It's just brilliant.
The other thing that'll be chomping at him is you always want to beat your teammate. His teammate's sitting on that prime position of pole. So it doesn't matter really who's in front of him, his teammate is. So he needs to beat him.
We have a bit of a draft from Dan O'Brien and one of the Darrell Lee cars. Looks like it's enough of a gap that O'Brien won't get in his way or hold him up. O'Brien just pulls aside there. Muggleton's going to carry on, finish the lap. Just the last 2 corners left to run. This car's sitting on the curbs very, very nicely. It looks very tidy compared to some of the others out there. As I say, that he has a little slide, but across the line, lap didn't count. He must have had an off track somewhere in there.
That'll close out the session with Kurt Steinberg still completing a lap.
Kurt going to take the Powerbond Daco car across the line. That's a 1 minute 19.9 for Kurt, so a little bit off the pace, but that's our 20 minutes of qualifying completed. Next up, of course, 40 laps of racing, but we'll run through the qualifying results. For this session, Justin Ruggier, top of the timesheets with a 1 minute 17.957. which is going to be 7/1000th off pole, which Madison Downs currently got. We'll run through the full grid once we get the race lineup ready. But Josh Muggleton in second, George Maris in third, nothing between those two either. Lee Day fourth, Madison Down in fifth, Dean O'Brien position 6, Scott Uren 7th, John Emerson in 8th, Ian Ford 9th, Tony Ortridge the top 10, Jared Philsell the third of the tag pest management cars in 11th, Adrian Stratford 12th, Chris Stone 13th, Corey Preston 14th, Richard Alwood position 15, Jake Burton 16th, Martin Carroll 17th, Kurt Stenberg 18th, Sanjan Delilik in there at 19th, Michael Wilson in 20th, and Dal Nish didn't set a time. So, it's going to be an exciting track to race at, Des.
Yeah, definitely, Leo. Just interesting to note there was a lot of drivers in that session that edged close to their best laps of the week, or if not, just bettered them. So, just goes to show there's always time to be found no matter when you're racing, right up until race start, really.
I always view getting that close to your personal best as being a good sign that the drivers are on it. They're finding their limits, and that's a good sign for racing as well, because it shows that we've got all these drivers hungry to get at it, to go as hard as they can and race to the finish. So it's going to be an exciting one. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back very shortly for the full coverage of 40 laps from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
This close. Let's have a little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact. To the back of... Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Welcome back to coverage of round 1 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. V8's Online covering this series live and in glorious high definition with great thanks to our sponsors, V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services and the V8's Online Superstore. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I'm Leo Gray and back for the race tonight, Des Hallam. Welcome aboard, Des.
Thanks, Leo. Thanks, guys, for having me. Big shoes to fill with Sandman obviously out with real-life commitments, but hey, Sandman at work. Hope everyone enjoys the race.
That's it, 40 laps of Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. We saw just how tight and exciting the qualifying session was. I can't wait for this race here. But why don't we just touch on a quick bit of a real-life thing first, because the Bathurst 12 Hours coming up, and there's some news regarding that in V8's Online.
Yeah, it is. It's starting this Friday, and anyone that's going to be joining us there, there'll be a couple of us V8's Online crew there, including our boss, Daniel Bryant. We'll be poking around the place, so just hit us up on Facebook, give us a message, and hopefully we can get you there. And I believe it's rumoured that some of the short shift boys might actually be having cams around there, so it'll be a great event. Obviously, it's one of Australia's pinnacle races, I believe. One of the best forms of races, really. And yeah, some really great names in drivers are going to be turning up. Great cars, and love to see everyone that's going to be there. Come by and say hello.
If you're going to be at the event, set some time aside, come have a chat, and get amongst the V8's Online action. But for tonight, of course, 40 laps, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and that, of course, brings in an exciting element that Sandman knows and loves so well, and that is pit stops. So we've got our man in the pits, Reece Gardner, to tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, guys, first off, welcome back, guys. It's the start of a new season here at V8's Online, and I've certainly been looking forward to it. Looking forward to this race in particular. I'm a really big fan of Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, but, you know, as we all know, it's really called Mosport. Tonight it is 40 laps, as you mentioned, guys, and it looks like the pit window is going to be from lap 11 to lap 29, but that is very, very loose. It's all up in the air right now when guys are going to be pitting. We're going to assume that they need at least 35 litres of fuel, and some people may or may not be taking tyres, so everything's up in the air right now. I have no idea what's going to happen, so, you know, of course, that means for me it's going to be heaps of fun.
That's it, mate. And that's a big pit window, so it opens a lot of opportunities for drivers. And of course, the big thing to follow there is whether people are going to try and make a shorter stop through fuel saving, whether they're going to take tyres. You're going to have your work cut out for you tonight.
Oh yeah, certainly. I haven't heard much from the teams. Of course, as part of my job here at V8's Online, I do listen into the teams and filter some information to you guys. I haven't been able to get as much because they've been very quiet on the Western Front, but I do know that ANZ have been employing mixed tactics. Justin Ruggier has told me somewhat jokingly that he will be pitting on lap 67. So, yeah, if you guys saw the lap count, you'll know that that's not true at all, but I can assume that it will be very interesting strategies in this race, definitely.
That's good,
Justin.
It's good to see those drivers have got a great, you know, humour at the start of the season. It's going to be long, it's going to be furious, and you've got your work cut out for you, Reece, because there's some big events coming up.
Oh yeah, certainly, but I do love having my work cut out for me. I do enjoy this. It's the most fun thing that I can possibly do on a Monday night, easily. But I'm looking forward to it, guys.
We'll let you get back to the pits, Reece, because you've got a lot of running about to do. But we're going to run through the starting grid. As we saw, that final qualifying session made things very, very tight at the top because Madison Down has pole position, only 7 1,000ths of a second back to Justin Ruggier. Awesome lap with a tow from his teammate there. Josh Muggleton in third place for Tats.com. George Maris, very strong position 4 there off the second row. Lee Ellis, Lee Day, Chad Chastain, John Emerson, Dean O'Brien and James McKnight, the top 10.
Yeah, and out of 11th, we've got another ANZ driver in Scott Uran and Bo Cattell. Adrian Stratford and Ian Ford, 13th, 14th, 15th Tobias Cerny, Tony Ortridge, Jared Philsell, Chris Stone, Mark D. Anderson and Wayne C. Burke out of 20th.
Then rounding out the field, Marlon McMullen, Kurt Stenberg, and Michael Schreier. So 23 drivers, 23 angry V8 supercars, and 40 laps of Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It's got all the makings of a great season debut.
Yeah, bring it on. Drivers are taking the grid now. Soon we'll have some revs rising in these 5-litre V8s.
Notice a lot of practice starts happening out there, so drivers going to make sure they got the cobwebs brushed off. But here we go. 23 drivers, 40 laps, ready to go racing. The revs rise.
Green flag drops.
There we go. Good start by...
Oh, Ruggier straight away. Very determined on Ruggier.
Yeah, it looks like Ruggier got a good jump, but then Muggleton in the second phase of his start was very, very strong. They're going to run side by side towards the second corner. Who's going to perp the high ground? Muggleton trying to hang on around the outside, and they still run side by side. It's a right-hander coming up, so Muggleton would have the third line. Guys like Maris trying to buy into this as well.
And everyone else behind them has just got into single file.
So Muggleton won out behind that two-car battle. Ruggie has had to settle in for third, Maris fourth, but Madison Downs bolted on whilst that's happening.
Yeah, 8 times championship. You don't have to give him too much room. He's gone.
Lee Day, Lee Ellis side by side. Looks like Ellis was a little bit wide at the double apex hairpin there. They ran side by side for a little before getting back in the line. Chad Chastain's going to have a tow on these two heading down the straight. Great to see him back and involved with us on the Monday nights again. And back there side by side again, Ellis and Day. And Chad Chastain right into it. He's going to stick the nose in.
Have a look.
Looks like Chastain's going to have a big run down into turn one. Going to take the position on Lee Day. But Emerson trying to buy into this as well. Although Chastain hasn't been able to get the move finished just yet.
Maybe Day's got the line. And Chad hold on around the outside.
He was very, very deep heading into that corner. It looks like he's going to run side by side once more. He's going to have the position. Emerson going to try and take both of them in one move as he thinks about it.
Yep. Emerson up the inside there. He's just going to have to hold it around the outside.
And Dean O'Brien trying to get involved as well. O'Brien has the door shut with Emerson now with a big run on Chastain as they head into the Moss corner.
Look at this long, angry pack of about 20 drivers behind Chastain.
Only 2 laps in, and O'Brien, putting big pressure on Lee Day there. They run side by side. Day's got the run, although they were side by side heading out of that hairpin. Big pack of cars behind them still. These guys are fighting hard on lap 2 of 40.
Day is on the outside as they come out of Andretti straight.
Tucked it in behind. Looks like Dave losing big positions off the start, down to position 9 from P6. He's been getting beaten up everywhere. But great to see the side-by-side action. It runs on for a couple of quarters, so... Oh, spinner in the back. One of the tag cars around. That Bo Cattell. Cattell in the wall.
Around. He has to sit there and wait for the whole pack to go past. Looks like he hasn't copped too much damage from that.
Bring up a race recall replay of that. He takes a bit of curve on the right, and on the exit there, the vehicle just loops on him. He didn't have any help, he did it all by himself. I don't know whether that was a bit of curve or just getting a bit hungry on the throttle. But Cattell around and all the way back to 23rd.
Very unfortunate for Bo. We know in the pre-race he was very keen to try and keep with the front runners there because he reckoned his strat was going to gain him some positions. So he'll have all of the work cut out for him now.
Yeah, this is very character building for him. Just got to get the head down and push on with it. But back up the front, Madison Down has about an 0.8 of a second lead back to his teammate Josh Muggleton. Ruggie is still there, putting big pressure on him, and Maris is hanging on as well. The top 4, only 2 seconds separating.
Lee Ellis only second behind that. These top 5 have actually checked out from the rest of the pack, led by Chad Chastain. Oh, we've got a car in the wall. McKnight's in the wall, I think.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a hit. He's dropping down. Pretty big. Oh, side by side there with who's that? Ian Ford.
Ordridge all over the road too to get past some slower guys.
Yeah, lots of dicing all the way through this field. McMullen running very wide up the top, nearly lifted, but did a great job to hang on. Find James McKnight's incident on the race replay. He was way off the road, heading down on into the S's.
Did he get a little bit of help there? Because by the look of his car on the live pictures, it doesn't look good from either side.
He did it by himself. He's just gone a bit too deep into the second part of the corner. Found himself out into the wall.
And unfortunately, he's getting swamped here.
Garrett Philsell nearly up into the grass trying to get around McKnight. He's easily got the position. McKnight's got no straight line speed, so I'd say that damage is hurting him aerodynamically.
We've got a problem with Lee Ellis as well. Lee Ellis has spun out of Moss coming onto Mario Andretti straight. He's backed it into the wall, dropping positions. He's down to 10th now.
The Ellis was running a very, very strong 5th position, but just got a bit hungry on the curb or the throttle. But big pressure driving at the moment is Maris on Ruggier. Like Maris has found a little bit of pace over Justin at this early phase of the race. He was 2/10 quicker last time by. Going to try and put some pressure on this tag. About to say tag.com, but it's tag pest management there. Thinking of tats.com up the road, because those guys aren't really skipping away here.
Got a little bit of a battle from 18th back with Marlon McMullen, Michael Schreier, Chris Stone. Chris Stone, a little bit of... Oh, it gets tight with Mark Anderson.
Anderson around.
Kurt Steinberg putting in the side of Anderson there. Through Moss. Very opportunistic move. Held his ground. Actually, good work there by Kurt Steinberg. He got tagged as Mark went around.
Yeah, I think that, I can't tell if there was side-to-side contact before the spin, but it was tight, hard racing there, and sometimes that's how it goes.
I think that's going to end Mark's day too. Yep, he's pulled it back to the pits. So that's race over for Mark Anderson.
Back up in the top 5 though, because Chad Chastain holding down P5 has got John Emerson for company. Emerson's making a lot of grounds in that good game forward. He's putting big pressure on the back of the Can-Am Motorsports driver.
Yeah, John had a great year last season. He was coming back from driving the Riley DP in the old Grand Am series, and Chad Chastain is actually rejoining us again after a long hiatus, so great to see these two boys at it.
Emerson as well going to be I think a driver to watch in this GT3 Challenge Series. He came away with the win on the first Thursday night race at Road Atlanta, and we're going to start covering that one Thursday nights, starting this Thursday from Mount Panorama. So if you're a fan of racing, you're going to be watching that one because it's going to be brilliant. But just behind them, they've got Dino Ryan and Lee Dade. These two fighting very, very hard, and looks like they might actually be getting a bit closer to the fight in front of them. We could have a 4-car fight in their hands.
Yeah, and they're bringing along Scott Uren as well, which previous races he's gotten quicker as the race has gone on, so let's see.
Back up to the front, however, the great view out the front of Maris's car. He's just positioning his car a little bit differently to what Ruggier is, and this is a great opportunity to see the different lines that the drivers can take through these long flowing corners. Maris is looking very strong right now.
Oh, as Maris just peeks his nose inside. Justin's had an incident, he's gone wide. Maris is cleared.
That was
Maris the P3.
Great pressure driving by Maris there. He stuck the nose out, heading into the braking zone of the hairpin. He was never going to make a move there, but it perhaps unsettled Ruggier a little bit. Forced Ruggier to run a little bit wide. Maris, of course, never made contact. Through he goes into position 3.
Yeah, Ruggier actually had a bit of a weird bounce with the car off that inside curve on the first part of Moss. It just bounced him outside. Maris was able to tuck in underneath and just drive away.
There'll be interesting to see just what this does now in regards to George Maris's lap times and the gap up to the first two. Because whilst they've been fighting, the gap from second to third has grown out to about a second.
Go back to the battle for 7th and 8th. Dean O'Brien still holding off Lee Day as they charge forward. Just trying to tag onto the back of John Emerson. They're not quite there, but it's within half a second.
These two being a bit closer than the two in front, only about a car length separating them at some parts of the track. I'd say that that's holding them up, whereas Emerson and Chastain have got a little bit of room, even though they're still tight on each other. You've got Lee Day trying to think about putting a move on O'Brien at this stage. O'Brien making sure he covers his bases. But they're fighting very, very hard. Behind that, Scott Uran, who anytime that these two start to get a bit tight, you're right there.
Behind them, we've got Lee Ellis. He's got a little bit of a train with him, with Ian Ford, Adrian Stratford, Tony Ortridge, and Tobias Cerny all sitting there waiting to pounce. Really doesn't matter where you look at this field, there's just little battle packs forming.
Yeah, it seems as if drivers aren't really able to get away from one another unless they're involved in a big hard fight, because you've got Ian Ford putting big pressure on Stratford there. But it seems like everyone's got a fight on their hands somewhere you look. There isn't really anyone running out sort of all on their lonesome. Oh, Ortridge doing a bit of grass cutting there.
We're only on lap 9 of 40, so we're not even quite a quarter of the race into this one.
Sorry, mistaken. I wasn't looking at Orchard. I was looking at Lee Ellis there, P10. Of course, they're running identical TTR hyperstimulator liveries, and those are new liveries for that team there. A long-time sponsor of this series, well, of this team in this series, the hyperstimulator cars, and they look great. Good to see some new colours.
Yeah, great work there coming out of Custom Image Concepts. We go to Philcell, I believe.
Yeah, but just ahead of that, side by side is Orchard and Ian Ford heading down into the S's now, down this long straight. Ian's going to have the inside line.
I believe he's
strapped wide. Orchard's trying to buy in as well. He's not going to have the road to get up the inside there of Stratford. When Stratford drops the wheel off, that's going to hurt his run down onto the straight. Orchard is going to have the preferred line into one. But Tobias Cerny going to try and buy in as well, see if he can take a position in this opportune moment. He's got a big run heading down into turn 2. Stratford's been unsettled by all of that, but he's straight back into the back of Orchard. Might not have been too happy with that move through the final corner, but Tobias Cerny sitting there ready to go should these two come together. Back up a couple of positions ahead though. I was just about to say there's some familiar liveries duking it out. Darrell Lee, Tag Pest Management, they're all going hard at it.
Yeah, these boys haven't been, since Lee dropped back, they haven't been separated by much, as Jay's got actually a run to go around the outside here. Drops back in before the S's. Just in front of that though, John Emerson is right over the rear diff of Chad Chastain. Moving that good game Falcon everywhere in the mirrors of Chastain's car.
Now, it hasn't taken long, but we're already lap 11:40, and this is where it seemed like we were hearing pit stops might start to have a bit of a run through. So we're going to touch in with Reese in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets, see if there's any news there.
Yeah, guys. Well, I haven't really gotten much info. The teams that I'm in contact with have been deathly quiet. I think they're trying to keep a lot of secrets, but I do know that Jared Filsell, down in 15th, who has been passed by Wayne Seaberg now. I saw him harassing Mr. Filsell earlier. Yeah, it seems that Jared Filsell will at least be pitting as early as he can. I can't say anything for the other ANZ drivers, though.
I definitely can, as Bo Cattell has actually left the pits already there, Reese. You've missed that one. He's got a 12.3 second stop, so very, very quick from him.
Yeah, Cattell having that drama at the start of the race, he might be trying an alternate strategy, anything he can to make some ground back up on the field. So of course you'll keep us posted, Reese. Let us know if you find anything else out there, but I think you're going to get very busy in a very short amount of time because it's just about time for a round of pit stops.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be keeping my eye out.
Just as we're getting close to this, interesting to note, if we can jump back up to first and second, Josh Muggleton 3/10 quicker than his teammate. He chases him down. Doesn't look like Madison Down's going to have it all his own way here.
Yeah, that's a big, big chunk to reel in. A second is the gap separating first from second position. Kurt Stenberg pulling into the pits from 21st. Battle up front. This one, you get the feeling like it's not over in any stretch. Still a long way to go, and this is only going to get hotter from here.
Something else is interesting to note is Justin Ruggers isn't able to hold on to the back of George Maris. George Maris putting in some great lap times, holding that gap to second at 2 seconds. But Justin just slipping ever so lightly.
Side by side down the Mario Andretti straightaway. This battle's been raging for a while now. Lee Day and Dean O'Brien. We've seen Day get side by side on the wrong side of the road, and he has to then just fall in behind the Darrell Lee Falcon.
O'Brien's doing a great... Oh, we've got Josh Muggleton into the pits.
Mago and Ruggier. So second and fourth into the pits. Lap 13 of 40. I think we'll see a couple of other drivers coming in as well.
Yeah, guys, if I could just interject, Garrett Filson pits.
Thanks for that, Reese. They're going to be very busy. Ian Ford as well. McKnight in there too. So lap 13 of 40 and checking the times. Muggo with a 15-second pit stop. Ruggier even longer, 16.4. That's a much longer stop than what we saw from Bo Cattell earlier. So perhaps these guys have been taking tyres. Not sure exactly what the story is, but they're going to be coming out in traffic.
I do know that Marlon McMullen is staying out, but he is complaining of an understeering car, so I think we can expect him at the end of this lap.
I think that's the times of the pit stops is a great indication of how much fuel people use around here. Each driver obviously going to be different with their throttle inputs. This goes to show that Bo Cattell has got a very smooth, very capable fuel-saving technique, and
makes a difference. Any time in the pits saved is time on the racetrack. And our race leader, Madison Down, into the pits.
Followed by George
hard
Maris.
into the lane. Maris in from second as well. Chad Chastain in third position. John Emerson continues and inherits the race lead. Pair of the ANZ cars stay out. So O'Brien, Ellis, Partridge also in this lap.
Bradford stays out.
Marlon McMullen in, Chris Stone in. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the battle for the lead because Madison Down in the pits right now had it. Muggo, his teammate, coming through turn one. It's going to be tight. Josh Muggleton with a big run.
Oh,
big slide.
big move.
Oh, he's pushing hard. He knows he can sniff blood in the water. He's got his teammate in front of him on cold tyres who runs a little bit wide.
Sliding.
Big slide again from Muggleton. He catches a little bit of grass there. Oh, and once more, how's he hanging onto this thing?
Muggleton very wide there at 3.
Guys, I am hearing from Dylan Sharman, chief of TTL, that John Emerson might be pitting in 1 or 2 laps.
We've also got Lee Ellis stuck in the pits at the moment. Is he waiting for damage?
I was going to say he may have clipped the wall in pit entry, or he might have some sort of black flag, but Ellis has been sitting there for nearly 60 seconds now, so that's a big lose for Ellis.
Yeah, looks like on Ellis's car, it looks like he has some damage on his right rear quarter.
Right, that'll do it for you. Race leader John Emerson into the pits. The ANZ cars, Lee Day, Scott Uren stay out. Tobias Cerny also still on the racetrack. Adrian Stratford in. Schreier in. So it's just Day, Uren, Cerny and Burke left to pit. We saw Wayne Burke in the middle of some pretty big fights out there. He's got just a little bit of damage on the front right of his car. Continuing on, it probably isn't affecting him too much. But just to run through things as they sit right now, Madison down still looks like has got the effective race lead, but we'll have to see where everything cycles through before we finalise that.
Madison down is actually extending his lead over Muggleton there. He's back out to 2 seconds already, just in one flying lap.
Yep.
Muggleton using a lot of his tyres. I think he's overheated them.
As awesome as that looks, him sliding about everywhere, it's not doing him any favours in regards to catching his teammate. But still, this is only lap 15 of 40, a long way to go, a lot of racing to be had yet. And these guys out the front playing a different strategy game because lead A stays out for another lap. Teammate behind him, Scott Uren, does the same as well. So these guys are clearly playing out a planned strategy here.
Going to need about 30 seconds to travel through pit lane, make your stop and get going again. At the moment, I don't think Lee's doing enough to get in front of O'Brien.
Now, looking at the pit stop cycles here, John Emerson, it seems, through that cycle of pit stops, was able to jump Chad Chastain in the pits. So that will put Emerson to effective 5th position and Chastain back to 6th. But that region there, it looks like it's about where lead A and Scott Uren may be coming out depending on the length of their pit stops.
We might need to check in with Reese in the pits, but I do believe Chastain's had a long pit stop. I don't know if Reese has got anything down there for us.
No, unfortunately I don't, guys. I'm not in any contact with Chad, so I unfortunately cannot bring you any information from him.
Ooh, big 3-car fight down here. Got Shreya, McMullen and Chris Stone in there as well. 3 cars, 3 different teams. Heading into Moss, Scott Uren into the lane from position 2. Teammate stays out for another lap, but these 3 back here still fighting very hard. Looks like McMullen going to have a big run on Michael Shreya. McMullen side by side heading into the S's, side by side with the Darrell Lee car. He's bit of hip and shoulder in there. He hasn't got the position just yet. Move's still going on. McMullen slides across and takes the position from Michael Shreya.
While that was all going on, Scott Uren's been able to pop out and he's actually lost a bit of time to Dean O'Brien with that. He's come out about 2 seconds behind him, so he'll just have to head down and hopefully he's taken tyres and he can catch back up to O'Brien and make a move quickly.
Of course, O'Brien was fighting pretty hard for Lee Day, who stays out on the racetrack once more, continues on past pit in. They'll lead another lap of the race. Another drag race down this long Mario Andretti straightaway. Jared Philsell and Adrian Stratford. Stratford up pretty close behind the tag Pest Management Falcon, but looks like he's having a bit of internet issues, which has got to be unsettling for the driver in front. Oh, that's definite net troubles there. Last I saw, Stratford was poking his nose in on Philsell heading into the corner, and then he's had big problems. It looks like he's actually dropped from the serve. He's had big damage. I'd say that there's been a massive internet contact in there. Adrian Stratford has lost a connection halfway through, and in the middle of all of that, ended up in the wall.
It looks like Adrian Stratford peaked out at his ping at about 1,000 there, and while he was trying to make a move, the 2 cars have just netcoded and it's put Adrian Stratford out. Very unlucky for him.
Yes, and we've also got some info from Reese in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to confirm, yeah, that was internet-related contact. I was hearing in the ANZ garage from Jared Philsell. He was driving along, and then all of a sudden, Adrian disappeared from the screen, and then he got a whole heap of car contact incidents. So that's not going to do his incident cap any good, I might think.
Are you able to find out if Phil Cell has any damage, or is his car still alright?
I'll endeavour to find out.
Thanks, Reese. Let us know. Oh, this three-car fight's still carrying on. McMullen, well, Stone looks slow because he's got the Darrell Lee car all over the back of him as well, but McMullen's going to try and take position. He did this last time by on the Darrell Lee car, but it's not an easy move to make. You've got a left-hander immediately after, that's why they call it the S's. He's not going to get it done this time, or is he? Muscling his way through, and he's going to have the preferred line heading down into turn 1, but it's Michael Schreier who's looking very racy right now. McMullen didn't get the run. Chris Stone slides back across and they head single file once more into turn 2.
And Michael Schreier's car's looking a little bit worse for wear in the front end there, but if he can just sit back and let these guys battle it out, save his tyres a bit, he'll be able to make easy work of these guys.
Great bit of driving between these three drivers. Racing very hard. But our race leader, Lee Day, into the pits. Tobias Cerny going to stay out and inherit the race lead. Wayne Burke also still on the track. But Madison down 4th on the road. We're going to keep track of Lee Day, see where he pops out. But one battle, it looks like it's getting a bit closer. Nara seems to be running a bit quicker than Josh Muggleton is at the moment. Took about 2/10 out of him that lap. Oh, Muggo around.
Oh, Muggo, big moment there.
Big half spin. I got a little bit excited and called it a bit early. He didn't go all the way around, but he got about as close as you can without binning it. And this has put Maris right on the back of him. We're going to quickly bring that up on a replay.
Yeah, he's just decided to use a little bit too much curb there, drifting the car out, and the left rear has got onto some grass and just thrown it around. Great save there by him, but this has put Maris right on his diff.
George Maris in a great position right now. Muggleton's car has looked pretty untidy since that pit stop. Maris going to try and get a strong run down the Mario Andretti straightaway. This is the exact opposite of what we were saying about Muggo in that qualifying session. He was looking smooth and tidy. At the moment, it's pretty rough out there for him.
Yeah, I touched on it earlier. You don't want to lose to your teammate, and I think he's just tried to work his tyres a little bit too hard, too early, and now he's going to pay the consequences. Just touching back on Lee Day, he's actually popped back out in 9th in behind Chad Chastain.
Yep, I think he's actually made up a little bit of ground there because we recall he was in a battle with Dean O'Brien. He's ahead of O'Brien, and whilst we've been following all of that, Scotty Uren has also made it around O'Brien.
Yeah, Lee Day was able to put it in the 18 lows very off, like when he was in clear air, so that was great driving by him. Also, news in from the pits, Jared Philsell has no damage from that contact.
That's great news. But, a battle that we were following has gone all wrong up in Mosport. Schreier and Stone, it looks like that are coming together. And it's going to end up with damage for both Darrell Lee and the overclocker's car.
Schreier has actually come off worse for wear for that one. Chris Stone's only lost a second to Marlon McMullen. He's lost one position.
We'll try and find a replay to show you, but we've got some info from Reese in the pits for Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I actually witnessed that incident between Schreier and Stenberg as that happened, and it seems that, Schreier just came on in front of Stenberg, and then Stenberg went into a bit of a slide going into the left-hand sweeper before Moss and just clipped Chris Stone into Moss. Also got a bit of information on Josh Muggleton. TTR Spy Guy is back, and he's telling me that Muggo regrets not taking tyres.
It certainly looks like it right now. He's got Maris all over the back of him. And Maris looking incredibly strong at this point in the race.
I've got no word on whether Tobias Journey will be pitting anytime soon, but I'll keep listening in and see what I can get you guys.
Thanks for that, Reese.
No problem.
Yeah, we were hearing, what was it, about lap 11 being when you could pit at the earliest, which means that he's going to be due for a pit stop very soon, which will cleanse the field. But a fight that's heated up after the pit stop. It's Lee Day on Chad Chastain. Day, of course, the big winner through the pit stops in terms of track position. And working the back of this Can-Am car very hard.
Yeah, Lee Day with 17.2 second stop. possibly has fresher tyres underneath him than what Chad would. Definitely trying to make the most of it.
He's got a strong run down this long back straightaway. Of course, Chastain's not going to make it easy for him. Just going to keep the car positioned over to the right. Of course, this straight does seem to curve around before they reach the S's here. But Lee Day going to have to hold position for another lap. But he's definitely looks like he's got pace over Chastain at the moment. Now, just a little bit further back, probably a good time to update what's happened to Bocatel. Of course, saw him have that incident early on in the race, dropped him all the way back into 23rd. He's worked his way up to 13th. He had that early pit stop, maybe trying to play the strategy game a bit, make up some track position that way, and it seems like it's working for him because he's in the middle of a fight with his teammate Jared Filsell and got his sights set on TTR's Tony Aldridge.
Yeah, both the tag drivers there looking to make a move past this hyper stimulator driver.
Chastain and Day is heating up, however. Side by side, they ran through turn 4. Chastain is fighting very hard. He's not going to let this position go easy. He's driving a defensive line down the back straight, and he's putting his car very, very deep into the corners. But look at the run that Lee Day has got. He's closer than he was last time by. He's tried the outside move before, hasn't made it work just yet, but he's not going to give up. Nearly got a bit of an overlap, but Chastain, having the preferred lines, able to carry a bit more speed through the corner. He's hanging on hard.
Chad Chastain, old head prevailed there. He just positioned the car beautifully. Knew that it'd be very hard work today to get around the outside there, and just had great lines through it.
Very cool driving. Another driver I'm impressed with at the moment is George Maris right now. He's putting big pressure on our series champ Josh Muggleton, and we saw him get around Justin Ruggier earlier, left him behind, and now he's got his sights set on another one of the top drivers.
Yeah, George Maris, a very intimidating driver there. He'll just put the car right in your mirrors, make you guess where he's going to be, and make you cause a mistake. Maris has got a lot of pace with him. I believe he's probably getting held up with Muggo with his tyre issue.
Yeah, you can see their lap times have stabilised, so Maris is going to be set running behind Muggleton every head cam. But look at this side by side, Day and Chastain. He hasn't been this far up. He's going to try and squeeze Chastain, who still has the inside line to the S's. Lee Day's not going to let go, however. He wants this position. Side by side, they run through the right hand, and Day still with the overlap. Has to take a little bit of curb. Chastain, again, takes the position. Great driving by Chastain to be able to hold his position. Lee Day going to have a strong run down into turn 1, though. He's going to make a move. He's going to think about it, but elects to stay behind the Can-Am Motorsports Ford. Tough passing move, turn 1. And of course, whilst that was happening, race leader Tobias Cerny has now made his pit stop, so the field will be cleansed. Lee Day thinking of how to look there into turn 4. He's just positioning the car out of Chastain's mirrors, trying to get a bit of an overlap wherever he can. He's got big pace, Lee Day, but Chastain is driving a beautiful defensive race.
While all that was going on, Tobias Cerny's pitted and has actually come out and split Bocatel and Jared Filsell, placing his car in 13th.
Wasn't a lot of room there last time we looked.
No, and it doesn't look like there still is.
Touch on that in a second, but this battle, Day and Chastain, still rages on. Chastain is doing a fantastic job with the way he's handling this pressure.
Those actually just dropping off the back of Tony Aldridge there. We've got the Powerbond car of Bias now in there. Oh, we got a move on here with Chris Stone. Ooh.
Bit of contact between the Overclocker's car and the Powerbond car. Mullen with a big slide on the second to last corner He's going to try and tuck the nose in on the final turn. Hard move to make, big slide out of the turn. Going to have a bit of an overlap into turn 1. Falls away.
Oh, contact.
Going
sideways.
McMullen forcing his way through. Bit of hip and shoulder in there. He wanted the position and he wasn't going to be satisfied unless he had it. Mullen, of course, was the champion for the final season. Oh, he's been punted. Stones punted it. That was payback if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, guys, I can confirm that was intentional. I heard the voice chat. Chris Stone was not happy with Mullen's move.
No, didn't think he would be. It was a rough move into turn 1, and Chris Stone, not happy with it, has sent McMullen straight into the wall.
Go to a race recall replay on board with Stone, and pretty easy to see, viewers.
Never a fan of intentional contact or retaliation like that, but rough racing is definitely going to make for some hot collars, and that's the result. Whilst all that's happened, looks like Tobias Cerny is around. Cerny in the grass. Horrible lap for the Powerbomb cars. So Cerny there, he's running just behind Bo Cattell, and he's just touched the grass, looped it, and it looks like Jared Philsell has been involved as well. Just grabbed a little bit of contact at the final turn.
Very unlucky for those two drivers there.
Terrible lap for Powerbond. There's been a lot happening back throughout the field, but we will head back to the front because Madison down. Whilst all that's been happening, he's been a bit quiet on his front. He's got a 6-second lead back to his teammate. Chastain and Day, it's on again.
They're up alongside, going into the S's.
He's on the left-hand side of the road, which positions him in an awkward spot for the final turn.
And he over and under in the last turn.
We saw him
He's
get
got
a strong
great
run.
drive out.
He's had the same again. There is an overlap now. Last time there wasn't. And it looks like Day's going to take the position. Chastain going to have to settle back in behind. Going to try and get a strong run out, because he's going to have Scott Uren for company in a very short moment. Uren's just been watching this battle and licking his chops in anticipation, but here he goes. This fight's not over for a long shot.
Yeah, that was great driving there by Lee Day. Both drivers giving room. Just great car position there at the final turn there by Day, just to give him a really good run on that main straight.
Now we're going to have to see how Scott Uren progresses here. Chastain looks like doesn't quite have the pace of the Tag Best Management cars right now, but the defensive driving he was doing was absolutely brilliant. He was doing just a great job positioning the car right where he needed it to maintain his position. And Uren's kidding himself if he thinks he's in for an easy pass here. Now, continuing on with that front battle, was a 6-second gap from Madison down to Josh Muggleton. But the gap from second to third is a lot closer than that. Muggo's only got half a second between himself and George Maris. But once again, looks like he's got the quicker car, but just haven't seen a way to get around.
Go back to a slipping Justin Ruggier. He doesn't quite have the pace of the front runners. He's dropped back 5.5 seconds back from George. He's actually got John Emerson catching him 5th place. Just Emerson just a little bit quicker every lap.
Yeah, the quickest two out there at the moment. Only drivers in the 18s are Madison Down and George Maris, and that really shows. 5th place is Emerson, who we just mentioned before. Running very strong at the moment in that good game TTL Falcon. Then behind that is that fight we were watching just before with Day, Chastain and Red. Uren and Chastain side by side. Uren nearly grabs a bit of the grass there. He's got a big slide on exit, catches it. Big slide for the left-hander. Chastain is so strong through these S's. going to bring up a race recall replay because here there might have been a little bit of contact on the back straight. Chastain been running that defensive line and running it consistently. But Chastain, Uren with a big run and just runs out of room. Tried to go to the right but couldn't find the space to do it. And great driving there by Chastain. He's proven that he's not going to falter under pressure. Now we're currently on lap 30 of 40 in this race, so not long left to go at the moment. Madison Down, you can see, still holding first position, started on the pole. Big movers through the race. You can see that Wayne Burke has moved up 6, Michael Schreier up 7, involved in some big fights there. McKnight, unfortunately, big loser at the moment, down 8. Also got McMullen, who was in trouble, Stratford in trouble, Ellis 17 positions down due to that contact in the pits. That leaves us 10 laps to go. 10 laps left in this race. 10 laps to victory for Madison Down. But it still looks like there's a lot to fight for at the moment. Harris and Muggleton are going to be the hot one to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I think Muggleton's actually seems to normalise his car. He's obviously played with the bars, adjusted them so he can just keep this car positioned. Maris is going to have a tough time to get around him. Muggleton, obviously a seasoned champion. He's not going to probably make the same mistake as we saw Justin make. He knows that a second place now is a better position than doing something stupid and putting his car out and obviously taking one of those drop rounds out of his little pocket.
Harris's car still looks very strong at the moment. Another car that is looking strong, of course, Scott Uren. He seems to have a bit of pace on Chad Chastain. Again, can't speak highly enough about just what a smart race Chastain's driving. Bell's recovery up to 11. Very strong drive when you think that, what lap was it, 3 or 4 or something, he was last position facing the wrong way on the front straight.
And unfortunately we've missed him get past Tony Autridge there.
Right, didn't catch that. We're thinking that perhaps with the tyres, Bell would have just taken a short fill in the pits. He might not have had the rubber underneath him, but proving us wrong. Even though it won't be the result he was hoping for, I think this is a very strong first drive for Bo Cattell at ANZ.
Yeah, Bo, he's still improved on his starting position, so you've got to be happy for that. You also got to know that your pace was there, so definitely a great springboard for him to jump back into this series with this new team, new banner.
I think it's a good sign for things to come for the season. More new sponsors out there. We can see a pair of Darrell Lee cars, multi-21. O'Brien in 9th, Ford in 10th. Great to see new liveries, new sponsors getting involved. They are good looking cars out there.
Yeah, good showing there from the multi-21 boys. They've got a big team. They've got some great drivers in there in every league that will be broadcasting you, so be looking for more from that team later on in the season. Just up in front, this battle's still going. Scott Uren is all over the back of Chad Chastain.
Well, we saw how long it took Lee Day to get by, and I expect the same when it comes to Uren. He's pushing very, very hard. He's going to want to hope he doesn't burn his tyres up, but he's got definite pace over Chastain and the Can-Am Motorsports Falcon. Just got to time it right, make the move, make it happen. Not going to be easy. Chastain's car is very, very strong, exactly where it needs to be. And that's Moss Corner and the S's down at the end of this straight. Those are the two prime passing opportunities. Well, the run out of Moss sets you up for this back straight. Day Uran thinking about it, just poking the nose out, but Chastain's not going to be bothered by that. Maintains his composure, holds his line. That's another lap that Uran's going to be looking at a Can-Am Falcon.
Go and touch on this battle for second. Again, Maris not letting Muggleton go, but also find equally challenging past Muggleton as Uran is on Chastain.
That's it. We did know that this place wasn't going to be easy to pass at. What that does do is it means that it does make for exciting battles. If every pass was easy, we wouldn't have any good fights out there, because these guys have to work hard for every position that they can earn, and they're definitely proving it. And the guys that are being passed are proving that they've got the talent to drive smart defensively and hold their positions.
Muggleton's Tats.com Falcon is just gets great drive out of Moss. It just squats down and just shoots forward, and Maris unfortunately doesn't have an answer for that, so he can be on the back of him coming into the prime passing opportunity. Gathers him back up through these S's, but it's all too late.
Now Scott Uran, who was the driver putting big pressure on Chastain, looks like he might have just had a little slip up somewhere, couldn't kick the pressure up perhaps. He's dropped now to about a second, 1.3 seconds behind Chastain. So a bit of breathing room for Chastain there. They've got 6 laps to run in the race. Chastain has done such a good job to hold off all this pressure.
Yeah, for Scott, he's just dropped off that last lap. He's second slower, a 120 flat. Barrett's 119. Scott's gone wide.
Off the road. He's going to lose at least two positions. Two to both Darrell Lee multi-21 cars. That's going to drop him back into position 10.
O'Brien and Ford gaining from that one. Uran obviously struggling there with a bit of tyres.
Now, our race leader Madison coming down into the S's, coming to 5 laps to go. Here we've got a bit of news from the pits for recent Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, it is about Madison. I heard from TTR Spy Guy that Madison is apparently quite close on fuel.
Got about a 6-second margin though, so do they expect that he can save himself enough to make it home?
Oh, well, I suppose so. I mean, I'm not too sure how it's going to go, but, you know, Madison is a professional. He is an 8-time champion, so I'm sure that he knows how to deal with this sort of stuff. I also heard from my TTR Spy Guy that the rest of the team has a bet going that this will be Madison's only pole for the season, because he only got one last season. So I just thought I'd throw that in.
Well, there you go. It's an interesting one to follow.
Yeah, easily. I'll be keeping an eye on it, definitely.
That's very tough. It's very tough from the garage there. A lot of confidence in your driver.
Yeah, with how close that pole position time was, Madison might have expected a bit more pressure from the competition, so he might have just had to think that he could do just the tightest strategy he could, and that's what he would need for a victory. But with how hard everybody else has been fighting, he hasn't been challenged all race long.
No, he's had it pretty easy out the front. The one man that hasn't had it easy is Josh Muggleton. Again, George Maris using the draft, closing back in after Muggleton gets the drive going up Mario Andretti straight.
You can see on the lap chart that Maris has definitely got pace on Muggleton. Anytime he drops off the back a little bit, he gets right back up there. His car's definitely working well at some parts of the track, just that Muggo continues to get that strong run out of Moss.
Follow him around. George is actually closest that he has been in the last few laps. Coming around Quebec corner, looking for a good drive down into Moss, so he can just stay on the back of him.
Throughout the S's and these long sweeping corners at the start of lap, Maris's car looks so strong. But right here, right that corner there is where Muggleton is just getting the drive that he needs.
Yeah, big slide from Maris too, and he was a little bit wide in the middle of Moss.
Saw that, didn't you? He's just not getting it together up there. You see he loses ground. And it's just so hard to make it up beyond there. Another close fight there at that corner. Teammates,
Oh,
Multi
very
21
close.
cars getting nose to tail, it seemed. Was there a little bit of contact there between these two? Don't know, but we all know what Multi 21 stands for. But two Darrell Lee cars fighting very hard.
Now, I don't think there's actually team orders at that team, so Ian Ford will be doing the most he possibly can to get past Dean. He looks like he's got the pace on him too, especially with Scott Uren after his mistake. He'll be looking to get past these guys.
Just as a disclaimer, of course, I wasn't actually referring to Multi 21, the sim racing team, just in case that didn't get across. But 3 laps Ian Ford's going to have to get around his teammate, but he's got Scott Uren who's going to be trying to fight very hard to make up that lost ground.
Now, I do believe the only person around here, Leo, is who doesn't actually know what Multi 21 is Seb.
Oh. 2.5 laps remaining. Jared Philsell, Wayne Burke fighting very hard. We've seen a lot of tag pest management and Darrell Lee out there tonight. Great showing for these new sponsors getting involved, and they're definitely hitting their TV time. All the drivers involved in these two teams have been fighting very hard throughout the race. Great driving between them all. Exactly what you want to see to start the season. Philsell getting a bit of the curb there, pushing his car very, very hard. And Burke going to try and get a run down the entry straightaway. Both of them sideways out of Moss.
Go back to 8th, 9th and 10th. And Brian Ford, Ford right on the dip by Brian. Uren, he's hungry in behind him.
What makes for great racing is it seems like of these 3 cars, the fastest one is the 3rd one in line, and O'Brien is the one that's slowest of the 3. Looking out the front of Uren, windscreen full of Darrell Lee.
As we watch Ian Ford's car have front end slide, then rear end slide. Oh, it's a handful at the moment, stuck in behind Ian O'Brien's. These boys only have 2 laps left to go, 1.5.
Yep, this is...
Big slide by Ford into Moss.
These guys
Well
are wringing the neck out of these things. Big slide from all of them. This is going to be a great fight for the finish between these guys.
And we've got the white flag out.
Leaving anything.
Madison down. Basically going to go the parade lap now.
Still 6 seconds clear back to his teammate. Storming drive from Madison down. Reigning champion in the Tats.com TTR Falcon.
He hasn't let up either. He's been doing 1 minute 19 zeros to 1 minute 19 twos the whole race long. Been a commanding race by the champion.
Definitely had the measure of the whole field. Just looking back through the timing, Scotty Uren has managed to take the position from Ian Ford, moving him up into 9th place.
The leader heading up, Mario Andretti straight for the last time this race.
Got 6 seconds in hand, not going to be troubled by anything. Even if he runs out of fuel here, he'll just coast it. Coast it down the hill, in through the S's. Madison down, of course, is setting all the benchmarks in this series. 8 championships, he's got the most there. Records for wins. He's done everything right this time by. Started on the pole, led the race the whole way through except for pit stops. Crosses the line and Madison down. Takes round 1 from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
Oh! As Josh Muggleton only just holds on to 2nd. From George Maris in 3rd.
Yeah, that was hairy there. Muggo was pushing very, very hard. Had a big slide, caught the grass. Oh, that's an exciting way to end it. Ruggier across the line in 4th. Emerson 5th, and somewhere in all that, Uren has managed to take position from Ian Ford. So, saw fantastic fights all the way through the field. It's still going on between Philsell and Burke. Philsell's going to cross the line and maintain that one. Tobias Cerny was getting pretty close, but he's going to settle for 15th. But, Des, I don't know about you, mate, but I thought that was a brilliant motor race start to finish. Great fights the whole way through the field, and some intense action.
Yeah, it was a great race. I think it's really set the tone for this season. Madison Down obviously wants to, put his mark on this championship as it's his again. Great racing there by Muggleton and Maris. Unfortunate for Ruggie, it just didn't quite have the pace this round. Maybe the track not to his liking. I'm pretty sure he'll come strong in the next round at Brands Hatch.
Now, I was really impressed by just how intense all these fights were out there. Madison Down having a bit of a celebratory skid out there, lighting it up down the straight. He's going to be stoked for sure, we know it. Great start to the season for the reigning champ.
Yeah, there were some really great battles, and probably one that just boiled over a little bit too much, but that's racing. These drivers have got their helmets on and the red mist gets in, but yeah, really great racing all up and down the field.
And so to run through race results from round 1 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. Race winner is Series Champion Madison Down, a whole 6.3 seconds clear of his teammate Josh Muggleton. So Tats.com 1-2 to start the season, they'll be very happy with that. George Maris on the podium, fantastic result for the privateer, position number 3. Justin Ruggier in 4th, John Emerson in 5th, Lee Day 6th, had some intense battles there. Chad Chastain in 7th, those two were at it for what seemed like the whole second half of the race. Dean O'Brien 8th, Scott Uren 9th, and Ian Ford in 10th. That was another exciting end to the back half of the top 10.
And a great drive by Bo Cattell. He's made it back up to 11th. Tony Ortridge in 12th. Jared Filsell made it in 13th. Wayne Burke 14th. Tobias Cerny, Michael Schreier, Kurt Steinberg made a 17th. James McKnight, and the first of the non-finishers, Chris Stone, then Marlon McMullen.
Rounding out the field, Adrian Stratford, Lee Ellis and Mark Anderson all had problems. But driver there who didn't end the race the way that he would have hoped. We mentioned that sometimes tempers flare and things get pretty heated, but Marlon McMullen has joined us in the box. Hasn't? No. Missed it, sorry. Having a bit of problems in there, never mind. But we'll see if we will get some drivers through into the box now to have a bit of a chat.
I believe we've got Marlon's teammate Tobias joined us.
Hello guys.
How you going, Tobias? That was a pretty interesting race for you, mate. Tell us a little bit about that spin you had.
Yeah, unlucky that I had this spin after I just got new fresh tires and came out of the pits and were able to apply massive pressure on Bo. Yeah, I don't know, just coming into approaching last corner, I was thinking, oh, I could have thrown it through the inside because Bo was also so far on the outside, but then I followed him on the outside and I think I couldn't see the grass and yeah, slightly touched the grass and the spin, nothing I could do there. I'm also sorry then for Jared as he also got some damage and yeah, unfortunately I finished on position 15 instead of 12 or somewhere else. But nevertheless, car had quite a good pace. I was happy to survive the first laps and yeah, it was great to be back again in the new season.
Yeah, first race of the season is always an exciting one, Tobias. And of course, you and the teammate getting in there. How are you feeling for this new season in the Powerbond team?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think we got a few teammates that had risen their iRating. So as we saw Kurt Sternberg here in this top split race today as well, maybe we will be able to have 4 drivers of us in top split one time. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep, hopefully you guys can keep working at it and make some gains in the setup department and make your way further up the field, but best of luck for that, Tobias.
Thank you, Leo.
And we're now going to congratulate race winner Madison Down. Led from flag to flag. Fantastic ride from yourself, Madison. What a way to start the season.
Yeah, thanks, Leo. Always great to start with a win. It's definitely a good confidence boost going into the first season of 2014. And yeah, it didn't quite go my way, I suppose. Muggo kept me pretty honest there in the first stint, but took a bit of a risk on strategy and it went away from him there at the end. But still, great result for the team once again, 1-2 for Tats.com, and hopefully we can keep it going throughout the season.
You looked strong out there the whole race, buddy. Your car was looked like it was very settled, and I see that you managed to complete the event without even racking up an incident point or anything. So you must be feeling pretty good at this stage. How's your title defence look? I know it's early, but how do you feel?
Yeah, pretty good. As you mentioned, the car was pretty much on rails. It was very easy to drive. I did put a little bit of effort this week into setup, which normally it's a bit of a throw together at the last minute and just run what you brung. But this week I did put a lot more effort into getting the car to feel right. And yeah, I mean, we all ran different setups in the team. We all went our own direction, but I think I'm happy with how my setup went, and it was very easy to drive. It was very neutral. I looked after its tyres fairly well, so yeah, there was no mistakes. I'm over the moon with my drive as well. Like, to not make a mistake in a long race like that, I'm really happy. It's a really physical type race. It sounds funny in sim racing for it to be physical, but it really is mentally and physically draining.
Know exactly what you mean, mate. Now, of course, last season you were able to come away with the championship despite missing a couple of rounds. You're going to be in for the full 12 weeks or thereabouts this time, by it?
Yeah, I should be. I might miss a week I can think of, but should be there for 11 of the weeks, I think. So, yeah, should be able to make a full committed title defence, hopefully.
There you go. That's going to be an exciting one to follow, and it's going to make for an intense season start to finish. You're going to have a lot of pressure, though. So you're going to have your work cut out for you, but I know you'll do your best that you can, mate, and hopefully it works out well in the end.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Leo.
And, of course, a man that we know is going to be very, very strong throughout the entire season here and very hot on the heels of Madison down there. Josh Muggleton came away with a second place. You had a very strong season last time, mate, but what do you think for this time?
Yeah, not a bad start. Need to qualify better. That killed me. Madison was able to sort of control the pace there at the start, and so I thought I'd try something different. Didn't take tyres in the stop just to try and get out a bit quicker. Then made a bit of an error on the outlap, and when I came out behind him, which sort of killed those chances with him having new tyres. If I had got track position, things might have been different. But yeah, pretty happy with how the set held on pretty well. On the same set of tyres and still doing 18.9s at the end there, so yeah, not too bad.
Car looked like it was an absolute handful when you brought it out of the pits. We saw some monster slides. There was one moment there where I was sure you were in the fence, mate, but you did a fantastic job to hold on to pressure from Maris for third, so you had to be doing something right.
Yeah, there were a few interesting moments. I think I was pushing a little bit too hard around Madison's pit exit there and cooked the tyres a bit and had a few big slides which killed me. But yeah, then there was a lucky moment at the exit of turn one, almost put it in the fence. But yeah, it's a tough track when you're in front because that big long straight on the back there keeps the car behind you. So it's hard to sort of break the draft and get away from people. But yeah, happy with the set. It felt really good. So yeah, just need to qualify better next week and see how we go.
And of course, mate, the hot question we got to ask: you started last season with 4 wins in a row, but wasn't able to run the full schedule. But we hear you're going to be in for a few more this time. Can you take that championship back, Josh?
Well, that's the plan. Yeah, I didn't want to lose it last season, obviously. But yeah, we all know the story there. So yeah, no, I'm in for the full season this one, and hopefully get that number 1 back.
That's the way, mate. Charge hard because it makes for exciting racing, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
And 4th position, rounding out that the race there, Justin Ruggier. You started on the front row with a very strong qualifier, but seems like you kind of dropped off the pace a bit there, Ruggs. How did you go?
Yeah, how are you guys? Firstly, congratulations to the podium guys. Yeah, they're just in another class, so just had no pace really. A lot of understeer, and just I knew it was just going to be a battle just to finish and try and maximise as much points as I could. And yeah, didn't get the best of starts, but it was good to have a battle with Josh there the first lap there. And I was hoping George was going to get past me a bit earlier actually, and sort of was watching the mirrors and let him duck inside, and was hopefully he's going to catch those two front guys and make a bit of a battle. But yeah, congratulations to the guys, and hopefully next round we can put in a lot more time and take it to the boys up the front.
It seemed like once the first couple of laps were over, you sort of had a bit of own track running to yourself. There were some intense fights going on through the rest of it, but fourth place is still a very strong haul of points. Now that you're back and racing with us in the country again, everything's all gone well on your end. Do you think that you're going to be back in for the full season and going to be fighting hard for a title?
Actually, I'm not sure. There's a bit of hopefully big announcement coming with my racing, which might take up a lot of my time with training and stuff like that. So I'll know in a couple of weeks. But yeah, that's the plan. I'd love to do the whole series and fight Madison and Josh and John and Emerson and all them boys. But just have to wait for the next couple of weeks. And obviously, with them guys, chasing Madison and Josh and them guys, you need to spend a lot of time on the sim to try and catch them and get a good setup. So hopefully, mate, we'll press on and catch these guys and be back on the top step again.
Well, I know that we're all looking forward to hearing what news comes from your real-life commitments. Very exciting, of course, to hear how everything goes for people involved in both sides of racing, the sim racing world and the real-life side of things. So you'll keep us posted with that, I'm sure, and all the best for it. Hope it goes your way.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It's something that I've always wanted to do as a kid. So if it comes off, mate, it's a lot of hard work in the background that a lot of people don't see, mate. So it's a lot of late nights, a lot of training, a lot of early starts, and if it does pay off, I'll be extremely happy. And then that's just another goal that I have to put my head down and make sure that I perform. But thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're looking forward to it, buddy. And now, coming home, position number 11. Perhaps not the result you were hoping for in terms of the outright position there, Bo, but I thought it was a fantastic drive. Bo Cattell on, what was it, lap 3 or 4, was sitting there facing the wrong way on the pit straight in the last and brought it home in P11. I think that's a great drive, mate.
Thanks, mate. It was, it took a bit of a risk on the pit stop. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did, so that was just 100% to get track position, and it sort of worked out well in the way. I didn't quite catch the back guys just at the end of lap 10, so I really didn't lose any time and got to jump a few.
It was a great comeback drive from yourself there. The comment that I made after you made that spin was that first start for the new team and an incident like that's got to be a big character building moment, and definitely seems like you kept your head down, worked hard at it, because you were still picking off positions toward the end there.
Yeah, I knew I had reasonable race pace. I just had to keep it clean after that and not make any more errors, but it was really, really tough at the start. There were guys battling, I think it was around 10th to 15th, and it was, I just couldn't see where the curb was and dropped one on the grass, and that was it.
Well, first event in the new team. Seems like the pace was there. I think, like I said, great drive to recover back into position 11. You've got to be looking forward to the season from here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good season, a big learning curve, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for the drive earlier tonight, mate, and we'll speak to you soon.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Now, bringing it home in position number 7 for Can-Am Motorsports. Of course, we've got Chad Chastain in the box with us tonight. Chad, that was some excellent driving from yourself out there, mate, to hold on to P7. Great job. How was it?
A little tense, the first stint I felt really good with John, but man, the Good Game team just killed me in the pits, and I think I took 2 or 3 breaths in that second stint sandwiched between Lee and Scott Uren. Cooked the fronts and just couldn't get them to cool down. It was a lot of fun, though.
I'll tell you what, mate, it looked like it was pretty intense out there. It was awesome for us to watch. I was really impressed by the composure that you had with all that pressure, because I think there was about 10-15 laps straight. It seemed like Lee Day was having a massive run down the Mario Andretti straightaway, and somehow you managed to hold on to it. So, yeah, it must have been pretty intense out there.
It really was. I mean, he came out of the pits right behind me, and I could not lay down a good lap. It might have looked like I had my composure, but my God, I was all over the place. But that was a lot of fun with him. He raced me really clean, and that pass that he put on me was just magnificent. But feels like a really good start to the season.
Now, other question we got to ask you now, Chad, because of course V8's Online's been covering, has just begun to cover the V8 Americas series, which of course is an exciting new development for us. You've been a strong driver in that series. How is all that shaping up? Everything going well over there? And do you think you'll make a run for the title this season?
You know, I'm certainly hoping so. Marlon had a little bit of tough luck, the defending champion in the first race. I think John Emerson might run it. But yeah, I like my chances, but you got to take it one race at a time. It's been really exciting, and the participation has just gone through the roof with the broadcast. It's awesome.
Well, I know we're excited to cover those events, and it's also great to have you back here with us on the Monday night races, so hopefully we'll see you in plenty more of these to come.
Wouldn't miss it, Leo. Thanks a lot for having me.
Pleasure, mate. And another driver who got to see a lot of Chad Chastain's strong defensive driving out there, Dean O'Brien, brought it home position number 8, but can't have been an easy drive out there, mate.
No, it was a tough race tonight. Everyone was sort of pretty equal on pace, and with that big toe down the back straight, it didn't let anyone pull away, so it made for good racing and tough racing.
Hey, we spent a lot of time at the last part of that race watching a battle between you and your teammate Ian Ford. You guys looked like you were going at it tooth and nail, and it was great fun to watch. I imagine you were probably sweating inside the cockpit, but awesome fight between two teammates.
Yeah, Ian came on really strong at the end there. He must have looked after his tyres a little bit better than what I did, and he really came on to me. It was just a little bit unlucky. I'm not sure what happened in the last couple of laps, but Scotty got past him and just gave me a little bit of breathing space to just bring it home in 8th. But another top 10 result to start off the season, so which is good, and hopefully a few more to come.
Yeah, great way to get the ball rolling. Good result for the Multi-21 team, Dean. So we'll wish you all the best for the rest of the season, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, boys. Thanks.
And man in the middle of all that fighting as well at the end was Scott Uren. Scotty brought it home in position number 9. Saw a lot of intense fights, Scott. Exciting race it looked like. How'd you find it?
Mate, there was battles all over the place, and you're right, I was right in the middle of most of it. We all got caught up at the start. Everyone was bottled up battling themselves, and so we lost a lot of time to leaders. But got in our stride, and then found myself towards the end of the race running out of tyres, and had an opportunist attack on Chad when Lee got past him, and then my tyres started going off then, so I fell back, and then I ran wide, so then I had a good dice with Ian and Dean, so yeah, I was all over the place.
Looked like as soon as you got out of one, you were straight back into another, and ended up in the middle of a Multi-21 sandwich. Those guys were racing really hard, and it was great to see you in the thick of all that, and new sponsorship as well, new colour for your team. How are you feeling for the new season?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. The guys have worked really well for us. Yeah, we've worked really well through this week, although we didn't find the setup we all wanted to take on these TTR guys and the Tats dudes. But yeah, no, team's been going really well, and hopefully we'll find a trick somewhere to get some more pace.
That's it, mate. Well, top 10's a good start to the season. There's still a long way to go, but I'm sure you're going to be very, very strong from here on.
Yeah, I hope to put on a good show as well. It was good fun.
Thanks, mate. Take it easy.
Cheers.
Now, the other man in that Multi-21 fight there, Ian Ford, brought it home position number 10. Mate, you were racing really, really hard with your teammate there. It was great fun to watch. Good to see that you guys can fight that hard. I'm sure it's exciting to be a part of.
Oh, that's it. We both do professional jobs. The only rule is don't beat each other, and usually that works out. Sometimes on ovals we get a bit messy, but oh well.
Mate, it was great fun to watch. We know that Multi-21's been working very hard, getting the cars up the front, and to see 2 cars in the top 10 is a great showing. And how are you feeling from here on? We're seeing you in this top 10 more and more often.
Oh, that's the plan. Hopefully get 2 or more cars in the top 10 every week, and hopefully we can do that from Brands Hatch onwards.
That's it, mate. That sounds good to me. You guys looking forward to the NASCAR series and all that? Multi-21, of course, has got a bit of a presence in there. The Nationwide series is going to be running that, and then the longer iRacing series races. How are you guys feeling for all those?
We feel pretty confident. The longer the races, the better we usually do. So hopefully we'll get enough Darrell Lee cars out there to make decent shows for you guys.
I like it, mate. I like it. Looking forward to it. Now, final driver that we've got to have a chat to, and probably not the interview that he was hoping for, but Lee Ellis. Lee, you found yourself in a spot of bother early in the race there. Why don't you tell us what happened?
Well, I tried to get a good run out of Moss, and then ended up rotating and it backed it into the wall. The car was alright. Then a few laps later, last corner, smacked it into the wall again, and then bent the steering. And then I thought everyone was coming in, so I better go in and see if I got any damage, and managed to lock all the rears and drive it into the pit wall.
Yeah, exactly not the way you want to make your pit entry there, Lee. It's a shame to see that happen because you were running very strong this week, starting from position 5. Your lap times were competitive. Unfortunately, this one obviously not being the week. Looking forward to the races from here on, I expect.
Anything can be better than what happened tonight, so...
Oh, mate, you got anything, any races you got circled on the calendar? What's going to be your time to shine?
I don't even know the schedule, so probably one of them. If Road Atlanta's on there, I love Road Atlanta. Or
yeah,
Watkins.
Road Atlanta coming up in a couple of weeks. Watkins Glen at the Cup layout. Both going to be fantastic, but we'll wish you better luck next time out, and hope you have a couple of cleaner pit stops.
Cheers, man.
Well, we're going to start to wrap things up here, but that was some intense and exciting racing that we were able to bring to you. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it, but first of all, Reese, pretty busy out there in the pits, mate, but thanks for bringing us all that info.
Yeah, no problem, guys. I didn't quite get all the information to you that I wanted to, but yeah, I would consider that a pretty successful night. It was lots of fun to watch, definitely.
A lot happening, and Des, thanks again for jumping in and joining us. I know you enjoy being a part of this. We love having you up here, and thanks for getting involved.
Look, it's my pleasure. It's a lot easier behind the mic than it is behind the keyboard and the cameras, so love doing it. But I'm going to step aside and let Sandman back into his nice comfy chair. But yeah, it's been a great week, I think, racing. We've got, had our first rounds for all of our series, and we're looking forward to the second round. We've got the Bathurst 12 hour coming up this weekend, so don't forget. Just do a shout out on our Facebook page, and I'm pretty sure Daniel and I believe myself will be there. And yeah, hopefully we can catch up with you and give you a bit of goss and whatnot. And don't forget, Daniel Bryant, you owe me a carton of beer after the Seahawks won the Super Bowl this morning. Woo!
Oh, excellent. Thanks again, Des. Excellent to have you.
No, thank you, Leo, and a big thanks to Seb behind the scenes.
It's a lot of hard work, and it's very much appreciated. And we hope all you viewers out there enjoyed it. Remember, you can get more of your racing fix here at V8's Online. Thursday night, GT3 Challenge from Mount Panorama. Going to be an awesome race. We hope you're all looking forward to that one. V8 Supercar Americas, of course, going to be from Brands Hatch on Saturday morning, our time. And then same time next week, you'll find all the action from the Monday night races at Brands Hatch. But for tonight's race, 40 laps of Mosport. The winner, round 1, Madison down.